Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about Tropical Storm Erick and Tropical Storm Flossie in the Eastern Pacific, and they are both moving in the general direction of Hawaii. I'll be breaking down the timing and the impacts today. So I do hope y'all enjoy. We may even touch on tropical disturbance that we're watching also that is down that could affect parts of the Atlantic around the East Coast, but we are going to have to see. It only has a 10% chance, so if we do cover it, it'll be very brief. But right now, we're just going to mostly focus on these two systems in the Eastern Pacific for now. Alright guys, I hope y'all do enjoy this video, and let's go ahead and get straight into it. Alright, so you can see right now, we do have both of the systems, of course, in the Eastern Pacific, as I said. You can see the one along the west is a little bit more, it has more of its act together because it's been around longer and it's getting into more favorable waters right now. The one on the east, so this is Erick, this is Flossie. So you can see Erick has been really developing over the past few hours. You can see how it's starting to look pretty good. So we're really looking at that. That's looking pretty good right now. And Flossie right here to the east is starting to get its act together too. Both of these should be a hurricane by tomorrow. I'm pretty sure both of these will. I think Erick will be a hurricane very soon. If it's not already in some parts of the storm, I think it could already have some hurricane wind gusts right now. But you can see we don't have much dry air in place. The only dry air we have is around here on the very northern part of Erick, but it's looking like Erick is really shielding the driest air. So it's not looking like any dry air is interfering in both of these systems. Maybe a little bit of dry air coming into Flossie, but it's not looking too bad because you can see it's not that much of dry air. So it's looking pretty good. Really favorable conditions, not much wind shear at all. So it's looking really favorable for both of these systems to develop. Alright, so now we're going to come into the impacts and the timing. So you can see right now it's 5 a.m. on Monday, Hawaii time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Hawaii Standard Time. So this is not Eastern Time. This is none of the Eastern Time, Mountain Time, Pacific Time, Central Time. This is just Hawaii time. So you can see by 2 a.m., especially by 2 a.m. Friday through 2 a.m. Saturday, we could be seeing our biggest impacts on the islands, especially right there. But you can see it'll be a tropical storm while it's there, and you can also see it's looking like it's going to stay out to sea and not make a direct impact. Now you can see this is the cone of uncertainty. So sometimes, this is saying the center of the storm could be in any of these areas. So the storm could be coming up this way, it could be going this way or this way. So we still aren't out of the woods for Hawaii because it could come up this way and be really close to the islands. So we are going to see what happens there. But of course right now it's at 70 mile per hour winds. We only need 4 mile per hour more for a hurricane to happen. It's moving pretty fast at 17 mile per hour to the west. So we still aren't making that northwestern turn, but I think really soon we're going to start making that northwestern turn. Probably in the next update, we are going to be seeing it. But right now, that's what we're seeing there. Now we're going to move on to Tropical Storm Flossie. This one's at 50 mile per hour with it's moving 18 mile per hour to the west. This will be moving northwest by tomorrow, like by Tuesday and Wednesday. But you can see it is extremely fast. Both of these systems are really fast. But you can see by this weekend, it's still going to be out in the ocean. So this has a lot of time to develop. It has a lot of time to get its act together. So I think this could get really strong, especially major hurricane status. I think we will have 2 major hurricanes on our hands here. Definitely not at landfall, but while it's out in the ocean. But the cone does not make it all the way to Hawaii and the Flossie, but I do assure you, it'll get there. So it just has a lot of way to go, but it will be there soon. So definitely do be on alert in Hawaii for both of these systems to come through. You do need to be very on alert and have your plans ready if something would happen. But you can see this is Erick. You can see that the models for Erick, the spaghetti models, mostly take it in this general direction south of the islands. But you can see this one is for Flossie, and you can see it does something like this. So one could be going south, and one could be doing... Erick is most likely going south of the islands, but Flossie we're still having to watch. It's looking like it may go north, but we are still going to have to see because it could take... If it goes west just a little bit longer, some of the models would have it... I mean, not some of the models, but it could go that way if it just goes west a little bit longer than what we're seeing, what they're saying right now. So we're going to have to closely monitor this because that could easily change if it goes west a little bit longer. Then that when we make that northwestern turn, it would do something like this, like I drew. So we are going to have to see what would happen there. But for now, it's looking like both could miss a direct impact, but we have a long ways to go with both of these systems. So we are going to have to watch. Alright guys, so here is, this one's going to be for Erick. This is the intensity models. You can see most of them have it getting up, especially to a category 2, but a lot of them are already having it getting category 3 or even category 4 strength. I think category 4 is very, very, very possible. Hurricane easily. We're already pretty much out of hurricane, but it'll easily be a major hurricane really soon. I think in the next 2 days we'll have a major hurricane on our hands. Major hurricane Erick. Okay, here is Flossie. I already showed you the spaghetti models, but you can see these spaghetti models for a lot of the models are making this a very strong storm too. Already they're making it a category 3. I know I say already because that always or really, I think it will rise. I think it'll definitely be above a category 3, especially a major hurricane though. So especially, I think we'll definitely be seeing a major hurricane on our hands. If it just stays category 3, it'll still be a major hurricane. But for now, I do think we can get up to category 4 strength. I think these models just aren't that, I just don't think we're that certain yet. I don't think they want to push it yet, but I think we will get really close to category 4 on both of those storms, if not exceeding at category 4. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the GFS model. We're going to look at both of these storms, what we can see in the future with the GFS model. We're going to take a look at that. So you can see we gotta go to the Eastern Pacific because that's where they are right now. And you can see from here they look really impressive, both of them. You can see one's a little bit more impressive just because it's been around longer, but Erick's getting really impressive, and Flossie is starting to get its act together too. And you can see what happens throughout the next few days with Flossie as it gets really, really strong. It'll get as strong as Erick at least by Thursday. So Thursday is looking to be its peak, and then it'll weaken a little bit. At least this model's saying it. But look at this. We even have more systems that could come after this. You can see how much we have going on. So these are not the last storms. I think we're going to have a lot of systems in the Eastern Pacific. So most of these systems I'll be covering will definitely be in the Eastern Pacific and Central Pacific easily. But you can see this is Erick in the front. You can see it cruises on by right south of Hawaii. You can see we get some rain on the islands. So we definitely will see some rains there. But you can see that does move out, and then Flossie comes in, and this model has it having a direct impact on the islands. But you can see it does weaken by then. So it'll either be a tropical storm or tropical depression by then. But you can see both of these will have impacts on the islands. We're just going to have to see what the impacts are going to be and how bad they are going to be. But for right now, it's looking like they'll both be weakened by the time they get there, at least to a tropical storm or depression. But we are going to have to see what happens there. Alright, so I do want to show y'all one more thing. The wind shear. I know a lot of you wanted to see... I don't know if a lot of you wanted to, but one thing we do look at when it comes to tropical systems is how much wind shear there is. So wind shear is typically what tears these storms apart. So you can see in the reason that we're getting that they'll start weakening, you can see in the Eastern Pacific, it's not looking like there's a lot of wind shear. you can see we're pretty free of really bad wind shear. I mean, we still do have some, but you can see there's very little wind shear, and it's not looking too bad, represented by the blues and the greens. But once we get into the central Pacific, it starts to ramp up with the wind shear. So you can see around Hawaii, this is kind of their shield. Look how much wind shear they do have right here near the island. So we have a lot of wind shear around here, and it tears these storms apart. So you can see how that of Erick and Flossie both get impacted by that wind shear. And for a brief time, there's not much wind shear over Hawaii once the storm passes through. So we might, Flossie, we're still going to have to watch because we will have to see what happens there. But you can see most of the time there's going to be a lot of wind shear over Hawaii. So whenever it gets there, especially north of the islands, it usually tears them apart. Even south of them, it really just, really once you get around Hawaii, it's like, no, I don't want you, get out of here. And it just tears up these storms. So Hawaii, you kind of have a shield. You kind of do have a shield with all this wind shear that you have on you. But whenever that weakens a little bit, or whenever you get strong systems to come through, sometimes it can go through that wind shear and it doesn't really affect it that much. But these systems is looking like it will. And once Flossie gets near, or Erick gets near, they're gonna be weakening. They're gonna be weakening pretty fast. So that's what we're seeing there. Alright guys, I hope y'all did enjoy this video. I had a lot to cover in this forecast. Tried to keep it very detailed and a little quick for y'all. But I do hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. And I will see you guys in the next video on the tropics once again. Sorry I could not cover the Atlantic today. Maybe I'll do a brief, if it starts to look a little bit more likely, I'll do a brief update on it. But for now, it's not looking likely. So we just covered the Eastern Pacific today, but I do hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.